Well, hello and welcome to the grand final edition of SSS TV. It has come to this after a fantastic 23-24 season. We have the grand final happening on Easter Monday at Melton Valley Golf Course. It's shut for 4 days to get in preparation for this, and it will be Spazball versus the Specialist Fielders. We had our semi-finals on Tuesday night. Ben will join us in a minute. We'll break down those results and we'll also preview the grand final for you on tonight's episode. Let's have a look at just how the ladder finished up though for season 23-24. The top four there, Specialist Fielders, well, they were outside the five last round. They got that win. That's how tight it was. They went from fifth to first. Spazball finished second, so it is a 1v2 grand final. The Berkeley boys and St. Druid just scraping in there in the last round with a 3-putt by the KC Allies, but very close. I don't need to read them all out, but I'll just say that I think the handicapper has done a fantastic job this season in trying to equalise this competition. With you've got Clutch and Co. and the St Albans old boys, and even the Water Cannons, who started off with zip and 4, coming home with a bit of a wet sail, and probably down to those 7 or 8 teams really in a chance of making finals. So well done to the handicapper, but it will be a 1v2 grand final. We'll get Ben from Berkeley Golf to come in and join us as we break down the semi-finals that happened Tuesday night at Keilor Public Golf Course. Welcome, Ben, and thanks for joining us. Let's have a look at the first game, which was the Specialist Fielders with a plus 1.25 handicap, playing St Druid, just lucky to get in. They had about a 3-shot advantage. The Specialist Fielders shot 1 under the card, or 2 under the card there off the stick, but a 1.25 brought them to 35.25, and St Druid shooting a 37 with a 1.75. So it was actually a drawn game, but because Specialist Fielders finished on top, and even on the countback, they got the bickies and got that win. But let's just break it down. We have a look at the Specialist Fielders, 8 pars and 1 birdie, really consistent golf, probably not the sort of birdies that they would have liked for that game.
Still got the scores on the board though with 8 pars and 1 birdie, and probably licked out a couple of times I've heard, and a couple of missed putts here and there, as you could hear when you were in attendance at the semi-final. Did what they needed to do. They still kept the pressure on St Druid, and if we have a look at what St Druid did, 8th and 9th on the bogey, they certainly put the pressure on all day for those 9 holes, and as you can see there, the 9th double bogey and the 8th bogey cost St Druid a grand final berth, if
Absolutely.
I must say.
2 holes ago, 3 shots up. They bogeyed the 8th, okay, but they still had a 2-stroke lead coming in to that last hole. The issue they had though is Mark Allison only had 1 drive away. Now, you know, we've asked Mickey Hay post this semi-final, surely there could have been 1 drive other than leaving it to the last drive for Mark to get 1 away. He assures us, he's adamant, there was no opportunity for Mark to get away, and it was all up to the last hole.
Disappointing by Mark Allison. He's generally pretty reliable and handy with the G430 in hand, the ping driver, $1,000 driver, but it didn't have the price tag on it for this semi-final, that's for sure, as it didn't quite go to the expectations that he probably would have liked.
Pressure golfing finals, I can tell you, I watched both games. I was there with Pete Delbridge. We were doing the spotting for the night. It was quality golf from all 4 teams, and the pressure was on, but it was a massive strategic error on this last hole with a 2-stroke lead. I'll break it down and you can tell me what you would have done, but let's have a look at Mark Allison here. Didn't matter what Mickey Hay did, his drive didn't count, but we had Mark Allison here off the night, and I'll tell you what, he was as nervous as a virgin on his wedding night. I can tell you what, didn't know whether he was in the right position, he didn't know whether his aim was correct, he didn't know quite whether he was going to strike it in the right spot, and he was just hoping he didn't spray it. Well, I can tell you now, as we break it down now, it all went horribly wrong for him. Here he is, trying to get it, he pulled the driver out. Was that the right decision to make when you've sprayed them all night? I'm not sure about that. And there it goes, and that has shot left. It's gone right under the trees, and from there, it was in the cabbage. You saw the video on the WhatsApp group, and that face there probably tells us that's a man who's lost the semi-final. What would you have done, Ben? You're coming onto the 9th, you haven't driven well all night. How would you have approached that?
Well, from all reports from Mickey Hay after the game, I would have done exactly what he said to do to Mark, and that was grab a 5-iron, mate, or a hybrid, punch it 100 metres down the fairway, get us on board, and let me get you to the green. And I just looking at that, he was certainly like a dog shooting razor blades over the top of that ball. So Yeah, Mickey Hay certainly had the right idea in mind, telling his partner to have a 5-iron or hybrid in hand and get 100 metres down the line. But I don't know if it was ego, arrogance, wanted the glory, not too sure. Or the pressure got to him, but he still went for the Ping G430. That hasn't done any job for him in the previous 6 holes where the driver's required.
Wasn't good. Let's call it foolhardy. Whether it was ego, arrogance, it was certainly foolhardy. And I think that face there tells you that that was a drive that potentially had lost them the opportunity to play a grand final. Now, rumour has it though that all has not been great amongst St Druids since this match. I think Mark's gone underground and headed up to the holiday house in Leongatha, and Mickey Hay hasn't reached out to him. So I'm not sure where this team will be, but I do see signs of fracture based on that performance on Tuesday night.
I'm not too sure Mickey Hay has reached out to Mark Allison either, so there is certainly some fraction in the air for sure.
Well, it's tough finals golf, there's no doubt about it. Let's have a look at the other game here, and it was Spazball. It was 2 versus 3 against the Berkeley boys. Spazball played the game of their life, probably one of the best rounds they've played, 34 off the stick bend. Now, the Berkeley boys were holding their own, but when you have a look at what the Spazball were able to do, 8 pars and 1 birdie, pretty faultless golf. When one didn't step up, the other partner came in. They played the perfect partnership round of golf. And unfortunately for the Berkeley boys, not your best round, getting 4 bogeys, no birdies there, and in the end that was the difference.
Well, we bogeyed the first hole, and from there you're always playing catch up. We were a shot behind. We went on to par holes 2 through 5, and Spazball managed to birdie the 5th, which got him 2 shots in front, and from there we were trying to bite off more than we can chew really and try and chase the game, and that's what you got to do. Credit to Bagger and Spazball. They played some pretty electrifying golf, but it's fair to say that a few tin-ass shots that were present in that game, if they don't mind me saying.
Certainly played a fantastic round, but well done to the Berkeley boys. Finished, I think, second last or right down the bottom of the ladder last year. You've rebounded this year with Lockie and finishing in the top 4. So a great season for you. Hopefully you come back bigger and better next year.
Just like our business, we're building to bigger and better things, so watch out for next season.
Now, this is the rumour that SSS TV have now heard going round. You were there Good Friday at the Keilor football game versus Strathmore. Now, Coggers was very happy with his win, but rumour has it that he spoke these words at the ground about the upcoming grand final, and it's, I don't think we can play that good again. What do you think's going through his mind here?
In fairness to Chris Coughlin and the skipper of Spazball, those words ring pretty true. I don't think they can play that good again against the specialist fielders. They're certainly a touch stronger competition than the Berkeley boys. However, it's not great confidence for him. He's already got with that quote in mind.
Do you think he's conceding already?
He's conceding a victory.
Their best game is already they've played the grand final in the semi.
I think he's saying they've played the grand final.
I'd be concerned if I was Bagger with those sorts of comments already in his head. He ain't going to play that good a golf again. That's not the sort of comments you want ahead of a grand final.
And specialist fielders looking at that comment, they'll have a lot of confidence going into that, knowing that that Spazball might have another good game in them.
Well, let's break it down. Let's have a look at the grand final. It's specialist fielders, 1v2. It's a fantastic grand final. It's shaping up as a cracker. But the last time they played round 8, specialist fielders played 34, and one thinks we haven't got the handicaps in yet. This is how tight it is. The handicapper has not been able to provide us with the handicaps in readiness for this episode of Super Summer Series TV. But let's assume it's thereabouts. One would think that Spazball have to shoot a 34 again to be any chance against the specialist fielders. The last time they played round 8, they had a shocker. They shot a 41 at Melton against the specialist fielders 34.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight game going in with the handicap. It's been evident through the communications channels that Coggers is certainly trying to kiss the arse of the handicapper and look after him in any way, shape or form. So certainly we'll see what the handicapper adjudicates in this game. And with Spazball, after shooting 1 under the card at Keilor, they might be penalised just a little bit with that handicap. They have a handicap of 2.
They're going to come down.
They're going to come down, and if they come down any closer towards scratch, the specialist fielders will certainly fancy their chances.
Now, because specialist fielders finished on top, they have their choice to play the front 9 or the back 9 at Melton. If it were you and you were the skipper of specialist fielders, how would you play it? The front nine, we know, is a little bit easier. It's a little bit more wide open, a lot more chance to recover. The back nine's tighter, more water. Where would you go?
Certainly the back nine, you said it all there. Definitely a harder nine, a harder course, more water available, more chance of error. And Chris Coughlin, grand final, he had the game of his life last week in the semi. Bit more chance of error this though. Those tin-ass shots mightn't pay off like they did in the semi. So I think definitely take him on in the back nine.
Who wins it for Spazball? You're putting it all on Bagger, it seems.
I mean, he's done it all year, so it's going to have to be Bagger again for the grand final, unfortunately.
Well, the specialist fielders have nominated which nine they want to play. You'll bang on the money, Ben. They've nominated the back nine, so already they are sending a message to Spazball. You've got to play your best game. It's tighter, there's more water, and we're laying down the challenge to you. You want to beat us, you've got to play good golf.
That's certainly right, and I think the specialist fielders have made the right decision there. They're certainly opening up the Spazball team to entice them into making more errors and to take more off, take more shots on than they would probably like to.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what BJ does with the handicaps. They're not out yet. We would have loved to have brought them to you, but we needed to get this show filmed and to you on the WhatsApp group. But we wish both sides all the best. It's going to be an absolute cracker. Now, Boom, just talk us through your Berkeley bet.
Well, specialist fielders, I'll certainly go in favourite, particularly choosing the back nine. I've got him winning the premiership and the grand final at $1.40 on the back nine at Melton. Spazball, they're reduced to $2.10. I still give them a chance. If they play like they did last week, they certainly are. I don't think they've got that in them, so that's why they are the second favourites at $2.10. Bagger to carry Spazball, skipper at $2.50. That's pretty juicy for me. I'd be having a crack at that if you're a punter and are looking for some value this weekend. Mitch Jamieson, 80% of the heavy lifting, albeit though Luke Delbridge did have a pretty good game in the semi-final, but Mitch Jamieson and Will McKenzie both probably did the heavy lifting for Luke Delbridge this year and has got him through to a grand final. Specialist fielders choke. Now this one's all for the specialist fielders haters out there, which was pretty renowned last week when I was putting the bets out. Not many people have a lot of love for the specialist fielders. Specialist fielders to choke, juicy odds, $7.80.
Certainly the specialist fielders coming in as the favourite for this grand final.
They wouldn't want to lose. Back-to-back grand final losses wouldn't go well going into season 3, so they certainly want to win this one and get the win on the board.
Well, it's a little bit of pressure on them, but they've been here before, and for them, let's hope they can do it. And all the best to both sides. Now, just to announce, there will be a trade period for the Super Summer Series. It's going to commence on the 1st of April, and I think there may be some changes to a couple of teams, so we will bring you a special SSS TV trade special, and we'll be looking at who sticks and who splits. And we know already there's a few rumblings amongst some teams. Ben, we're not going to talk too much about it, but any early mail that you might have?
The obvious ones are water cannons. They were zipping 4. Wayne Wynnum hasn't exactly shown his reliability to his partner, hasn't exactly showed up to every game. Pete Delbridge, there's a little bit of grumblings there, and I suspect that may be a team that changes going into season 3, so watch out for that one.
Well, it's the first. It will be an official trade period. We'll get the grand final out of the way, 1st of April. It will open up for a month, and we want all teams to nominate for the 24-25 season. Well, it's all going to happen tomorrow. That's what they're playing for. The Super Summer Series Claret Jug. Tee-off is at 2:30 Easter Monday. We've got Luke Delbridge, Mitch Jamieson from the specialist fielders, and we've got Chris Coughlin and Peter Bagger-Horn from Spazball. It's going to be an absolute cracker. If you can't join us live, we'll be bringing you some updates on the WhatsApp group with videos. We wish both teams all the very best for the grand final.